Rarity, the other day I tried to upload a video talking about this event and what was happening. Yeah, I don't know what happened to that video. For you guys who ended up seeing it early, you guys were the witness, and we had to yeet that video out of existence. So here we are again. I think I'm a little bit more composed when it comes to talking about this, and I think finally I'm prepared for once. All right, now when it comes down to pretty much strategies, how to make more gems, stuff like that, this one is a little straightforward. Now we do have a newly updated system where Coder Michael, I believe, actually reduced how hard it was to go ahead and do certain things. Yeah, there was a moment where some things were like a little impossible to do actually and kind of stunted everybody from doing stuff. And it was a shiny spectral deer, a golden shiny matter of fact, but everything else kind of remained the same. Yes, you do need a lot of these, but you are able to craft a huge skeleton snake finally. But do you really want to go ahead and hatch this right now? And we'll go ahead and get into that. Before we do, hi, welcome to my channel. I do a lot of things, and make sure you guys subscribe if you are brand new, and if you haven't, make sure you do like the video as it does help me come out with more content like this for you guys. Okay, let's go ahead and get started. So in short, we already know how difficult it is to get certain variants of these pets. Not only is it difficult, right? But you do need multitudes of them. 3 of a hacked reaper, 4 of a spectral deer, 3 of a vampire agony, and an additional 4 of another hacked reaper. Now sure, you could go ahead and craft them basically by a rotation on top of hatching, but is it really worth to go ahead and go through all of that trouble to hatch a huge skeleton snake to sell? Now every single day these are losing tremendous amounts of gem value that it's almost not really worth to go ahead and do this. But this is one of the sayings that you could go ahead and use. You might as well just do it if it's not going to really take any time to do it. It's just up to you if you want to go ahead and just go after those, or if you just have a different plan, which I would say is a little bit more valuable. And by me pretty much saying, is it worth doing this? You have 2 houses, 2 that are very drastically different in price. House number 5 is 2.5 million, while house number 6 is 30 million. Sure, you could go ahead and just get a bunch of coffin eggs, or you could just go to house number 6 to get a clown egg. At the very end of the day, there's literally no difference between the percentages between these eggs. Whether you go to house number 5, it's still going to be 5%. If you go to house number 6, it's also going to be 5%. The only difference is what you want to go after. And I would say definitely the biggest downside of doing this is how much candy that you're able to spend and how very little you're able to get, especially when it comes to the clown egg. RNG has to really be on your side for this to actually hit anything really good. And by this, we mean the 2 huges inside of the clown egg. So I collected around, let's say 6 billion of the candies. I was able to very luckily get 55 clown eggs. I'm really hoping that this actually gives me some sort of huge. Now, apparently, word on the block is the huge for either one of these is 1 out of 100,000. Sure, that sounds like it's like not a lot, but when you're doing this multiple times over and over and over again, it does feel like it's a lot. But once it hits, oh my gosh, is it worth it? Okay, so I opened all 55 and I got a bunch of hooey baloney, but we'll still talk about it. So we'll go ahead and take a quick trip over to the trading plaza for a moment. Now this update came out on Saturday. It's been about 4 days, if we want to count Saturday being the update day. During this time, only 1,320 of these were hatched, with the huge shark having less than that, 589 of these. Now this is not by coincidence, this is by design. Now whether or not this is supposed to last for a certain amount of time, I'm not sure. But if it was actually super duper easy to hatch these, the Gargantuan would have already been gone by now. I think this difficulty gives us a bit of a layer to go ahead and kind of stop people from like overly farming certain things, which I mean is really good, but I like this. Mostly because if you are able to go ahead and hatch either one of these, you're going to notice that these will sell for a crazy amount. Now this is a great way to go ahead and see the snakes versus like the spectra owl or even the shark. I believe the other day day, I saw somebody sell one of these for 3 billion gems. This is not an over-exaggerated price. We did find the shark for 4 billion. Honestly, I would say like 5 billion for any of these pets might be a little crazy. They're a little out there, but they will sell around 3 billion gems or under. If somebody really wants this desperately, they will pay the gems for this. And if you actually go into the big game server and you just type in either the huge specter owl or the huge shark cat, you'll be able to see how much people are selling these or even buying these for. Now that I actually think about it, I think it's kind of crazy to see that this huge has a less existent count than the Titanic pumpkin dog, which is at 7,300. I like putting it in that perspective because it lets you know how rare and how difficult this hatch might be. Not everybody is going to be getting this, I know this for a fact, but if you continuously grind, you just might have that chance. Supposedly, people are talking about how this event is supposed to last all the way until Christmas. I'm not sure where everybody is getting that information from. I cannot confirm nor deny. I do not know, actually. I physically don't know. But I'm just gonna let you guys know the Titanic Witch Wolf is being created. Obviously, there's 165 in existence right now. But this gives you the question, are there any Gargantuans now available if this is the case? Alrighty, so I finally made it over to a booth that wants to sell the Gargantuan right now at 800 billion gems. Let me know your thoughts on that price. I know nobody's gonna go ahead and go up to that booth right now and buy it, but this gives you an insight. There's only 4 right now that exist in the game, and obviously the only one that is being sold at the very moment. I wonder, I might have to do some math real quick. Okay, so you need 10 of these Titanics in order to create this Gargantuan, correct? This means that you would need these little guys over here times 10. 10 of the huge shark cats and 10 of the huge specter owls, giving you a total of 40. 30 for the specter owl and 10 of the huge shark cat. If we were to be gracious and say, at the very minimal, 3 billion for every single one of these, you would be spending 120 billion on just these right here. And this is excluding the huge skeleton snake. And I'll be a little generous when it comes to this estimation. We'll say 40 million times 200. This is 8 billion alone. So you guys do know what this means, right? Technically, this Gargantuan that's inside of the Combine-O-Matic at this very second will cost you at least 130 billion gems if you want to go into the trade plaza and pretty much buy it. But this only means that every single one of those huges that I just mentioned are sold at the prices that I'm giving you at right now. Of course, every seller is going to be absolutely different, so the minimal amount that I'm saying right now is 130 billion. Of course, this might actually cost a little bit more. It could go all the way up to 140, 150 billion gems, which means, what would you sell it at to make those gems back and some? There's room for that. Personally, I love it when an update gives everybody an opportunity to go ahead and do something in this event. This event is extremely unique to house number 6, a 1% for an egg, but also, supposedly, a 1 out of 100,000 chance to get either of the huges inside of said egg, giving all of the stuff pretty much a rarity to its own thing, except for the huge skeleton snake, because the huge skeleton snake, that's very easy to get. You can go into the trade plaza, buy it for a few million. I say a few million when it's like 30, 40 million gems right now. But you guys get it. These are more valuable right now than the huge skeleton snake. The huge specter owl and the huge shark cat are absolutely way more valuable than your huge skeleton snakes. However you choose to go ahead and play this update, that is totally up to you. I am still gonna go ahead and farm the specter owl and the huge shark cat. The side quest, I guess, will be the huge skeleton snake. If I get a couple of those while I'm just basically farming and stuff by collecting all of these guys right here, then so be it. Just keep in mind, you are going to be needing a lot of these, and these are not easy to get. So I can't say with absolute confidence, if you end up getting the huge specter owl or even the huge shark cat, sell those immediately. The longer that you end up waiting and the more that people end up crafting stuff, the less likely you're going to get the full amount that you're really asking for. People are going to be competing with each other, and we do not like competition, now do we? So before I do end the video here, I do have to say one little thing before before I go. If you go into the trade plaza or if you see anybody coming up to you saying this huge balloon bean cat thing is super duper ultra rare, there are only 2 in existence, there's only 1 in existence, this is a bug that's currently going around, and there is no wrap on them at the very moment. There is a lot of these inside of the game currently, and they are not worth billions, hundreds of millions. I just figured I would say this real quick because I have been encountering a ton of people that are claiming this. So make sure you're a little careful out there when it comes to that. But yeah, if you guys are brand new, hi, welcome to my channel. I do a lot of things here now. Make sure you do like the video as it does help me come out with more content like this for you guys, and I will see you all later. Okay, bye.